Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to introduce the MITRE ATT&CK framework, a free, widely used knowledge base maintained by the MITRE organization, a US government-funded non-profit. It catalogues TTPs, tactics, techniques and procedures used by APTs, advanced persistent threats, organized, often highly sophisticated groups known for cyber attacks. Now, we won't get into cyber threat intelligence today, but specialists in that field would serve as APTs. The attack bit stands for adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. If you think the name is cool or cringe, well, just wait until you find out what the NSA calls its own hacking tools. Now, moving on, this framework is an incredibly valuable asset to any organization that might potentially face the threat of APTs. It provides real-world insights into how they operate, helping us understand their methods and take preemptive actions. For example, here in the UK, the NHS, that is the National Health Service, a public organisation which manages vast amounts of sensitive personal health data, has often been the target of sophisticated attacks. Similarly, private organisations like large financial institutions or Silicon Valley tech giants are frequent targets of APTs due to the valuable information they handle. Now, organizations can leverage this free resource by identifying relevant threats, determine which APTs pose the greatest risk to their industry or geographic location. Next, they can map their security posture to the relevant TTPs used by the identified APTs, which helps preempt the most likely attacks. More mature security teams may go even further by proactively searching for threats within their networks. If you know the TTPs, you know what IOCs, indicators of compromise, to look for. IOCs can be anything from artifacts to, well, ask your security team. I'm sure they'll be able to tell you. Now, when you initially access this website, you'll come across this, which is a bit daunting. I mean, there's a lot of information here, and this won't be an in-depth kind of overview. I'm just going to give you the basics, and if anyone is interested, you can take it from there yourself. So, if you're an organization looking to defend against potential threats, and let's assume you don't have any cyber threat intelligence, you can go here to groups and kind of just take a look. Now, let's say you are a Japanese or Taiwanese firm. You may be targeted by APT-16. So the ID is G0023 and the official name is APT-16. Now this is kind of important because if you then go to the matrix and you select the enterprise matrix, which is this thing here, and you click on the attack navigator, you'll be able to open it and make a new layer. Again, you select enterprise attack, and then if you remember this this ID here for APT-16, if we take that and we open up the search bar and we search for it, oops, there we are. Oops, no, that's G1024, hold on. For some reason didn't copy. Control C and Control V. There we are, APT-16. If I seems like this APT is only using one TTP, so it's not a very good example. Sorry, guys. Let's use this one here, Akira. G1024. I know this one has quite a few documented TTPs. So if we go back to the attack navigator and we search for this TTP, you can see immediately it highlights a lot of blue cells. If I click select, you then see there's a border around them. Now these initial cells are what are called tactics. So for the Akira group here, you can say T1133. So each of these tactics comes with an associated ID, T1133. There we are, Enterprise, External Remote Services. So this threat group, this APT, is known to use compromised VPN accounts for initial access to victim networks. So an easy way for an organization to kind of defend against this, or, well, not an easy way, but a more mature way of doing things, is to build mitigating security controls on top of and around your VPN gateways. And you can see some examples here. So, this is from various APT groups. So if you were really OCD, you could kind of look at all of these examples. I mean, you can see here during Operation Kokubi's, threat actors used the following command. So, if your organization is vulnerable to this group here, then you know that they've used this command before. So you can add this to a scene, for example, to generate an alert. And if it pops up, well, you are well and truly in, it's cause for alarm. If I click this grey bar here with the two lines, I go here, these are then techniques. Now if I right click, I can view technique, valid accounts, default accounts. So you can see how these APT groups have used default credentials to access accounts. The famous Stuxnet attack. Oh, look at that. It used a hard-coded database server password. Didn't know that. Learn something new every day. There's also matrices for mobile and ICS. So lots and lots of information here. There's also defenses, but that's the MITRE defense framework, I believe. I'll make a video on that at some point. But the main kind of tool that one would be using in an organization, if you're purely looking at the MITRE ATT&CK framework on their actual website, which is this website here, is this attack navigator here, because you can select layers, you can create layers. You can do lots of stuff here, as you can see, and you can kind of make a bespoke matrix, if that makes sense, tailor-made to the specific needs of your organization. So most large organizations will be targeted by multiple APTs. So I guess you would start with one and begin to lay out some sort of roadmap for how you would approach hardening your security posture based on these threats. But at the end of the day, it's all a case of risk management, and risk management is prioritizing. And if you know what to prioritize, then you can lower your risk significantly. And that's why the MITRE ATT&CK framework is such a useful resource. I mean, even for small companies, I'm sure they too can derive some benefit from this. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, there's also an FAQ, there's a blog you can take a tour, which kind of guides you through it. There's get started with some resources, some videos, presentations. I mean, this is funded by the US federal government, so it has lots of money thrown into it, which is a really good thing for us. We all love free resources, and thankfully the community, the InfoSec community in general, is eager to share their knowledge. And that's really what I'm trying to do here, to give back a bit. If any of you guys have any questions, guys or girls, or anything in between, anyone has any questions, just leave it in the comments or reach out to me. I'd be happy to help.